Dear fellow crafters, I'm Maggie and today we'll be making some miniature items for our tiny dollhouse pets. For the paper crafts part of this tutorial, you'll find the free printable sheets linked in the video description. For this project, you'll need your favorite craft glue, a ruler, some craft packs, paint brushes, a pin, and some millet, or anything that resembles it. Start by cutting out all the individual pieces. For the big packages, fold along the side and bottom lines. Add glue to the tops. I'm using a thin paintbrush to remove the excess glue. Press the tops to the side and glue the bottom tops together as well. I use the back of the brush to press the tops and make sure everything is glued down neatly. Once the package is ready, I'll fill it with the millet. You can use anything such as small beads, tissue paper, or even aluminum foil as filler. Oops, I've added a bit too much. I'll put some of the millet back. That's better. The idea is to be able to fold the top part of the package once so that it has a nice finished look. So you need to leave enough space to do that. Add a small amount of glue to the top edge and glue the two sides together. I will leave it to dry and make the other food packages in the meantime. This is the one for the bunny food. I filled it again with millet and glued the top the same way. Next, bend the top of the dog food package with long tweezers or just with your fingers and glue it down. And the package is done. I made two more. They turned out super cute and realistic. Now move on to craft number 2. Individual pet food packets. Fold down the top tab, glue the side tabs and the bottom. I'm using my tweezers to help myself because these packets are so tiny. Once everything is glued down, I'll fill the packet with these small seeds that I have. You can use chia seeds, sesame seeds, or anything else you find appropriate. Fill the packet only halfway so you can bend and glue the top tab easily. And the individual pet food packet is done. I can't wait to make the other 3. We have again tiny bunny food, parrot food, and cat food. Super tiny, super cute. Craft number 3 is canned pet food. We have these designs with top and bottom circles so that the can looks more realistic. Measure the design. Mine is around 2 cm, so I'll distribute marks on a single sheet of white printer paper evenly with 2 cm gaps between them. Next, I'm using my trimmer to cut out strips of paper. Once I have enough strips, I start by rolling one strip around the needle. Or maybe I'll actually use a paintbrush because I don't really need that tiny hole at the center of the can. I proceed with rolling until I reach the end of the paper, then I add another strip of paper and continue rolling. When you reach the end, before gluing, loosen the roll so that it is as wide as the can cap circle. Okay, I think that is good. Then glue the end while keeping this shape with your fingers. Once it's dry, apply glue to one of the canned food labels and attach it to the paper roll. I remove any excess glue so that it does not get too wet and smudge the ink once the glue soaks in. Add glue to the top. Distribute it evenly with the paintbrush and attach the top circle. Do the same with the bottom. Use small sharp scissors to remove any excess paper around the top and the bottom. Alright, I made all 4 and now I'll apply a coat of white glue on the top to make them more shiny and water resistant. Now look at how cute they are. I added top coat on the single dose packets as well, and I'm super happy with the result. Next, craft number 4, I'm going to make a bowl full of gourmet meal. I will use strips of paper again and the quilling technique to shape the bowl, similar to how I made the miniature gardening pots. If you've missed this video, I will link it in the top right corner of this one. So roll the strip of paper around the needle and continue rolling until you get the desired width of the bowl, maybe something about that big. I glue down the end. Then I shape it a little bit with my fingers to look like a bow. Add two strips in a darker shade of blue so that we get a beautiful effect. Once done with rolling the paper strip, start shaping the plate into a bow. Gently press on each side. Alright, this looks good. I know that real dog bows have a reversed shape. The wider part is at the bottom so they don't tip over while eating. But let's pretend our tiny dollhouse pets will figure it out. I add glue to the inside and use my paintbrush to distribute it evenly so the bowl keeps its shape when it dries. Meanwhile, I made a pink one for the cat. Where is our food? Where is our food? These bowls are empty. Alright, let's fill up those bowls. I'll use millet. Oops, not so much. To fill the bowls, I'll add glue and a small amount of brown acrylic paint to make it look like dog food with sauce. And mix everything together. Okay, I think we are good to go. I'll use this tiny spoon to fill the bowls. Come on, come on. I'll use my finger. It's quite sticky. Yum yum. This looks nice. I bet that when it dries it will remain glossy and juicy looking. Alright, filling the pink bowl too. That's it, very nice. I'm quite happy with the result. Leave it to dry for a couple of hours. Oh, that is nice, Pierre. Gourmet food is what I love the most. For craft number 5, I present to you the newest book that I haven't even released yet in my Etsy shop. This is the Dog Illustrated Encyclopedia. It has 28 dog breeds, each with photos and breed information on each page. You will find link to the free sheet in the description down below. Let's start by cutting out each element very carefully. Then fold the whole set of pages accordion style and proceed with cutting out each individual row. For the cover, fold down the tabs and glue inside the cover support template. There is also text on the back cover and a beautifully decorated spine. Glue the last page of each row to the first page of the next row. Glue the first page of the set to the front cover and the last page of the set to the back cover. For craft number 6 and number 7, we are going to bring the sewing machine out from the dusty shelf and do some old school sewing. I'm using white cotton fabric and Xerox sticker paper. I'll stick the sticker paper on top of it. Next, cut around the sheet of paper. Mine is A4, but you use your printer's default paper size, such as US letter or A4. I have some faults on the fabric because I was a bit lazy and didn't iron it properly, but that's okay. The printer will do just fine and there will be no problem in the end. So you must place the sheet with the paper facing up. Next, let's print the designs. Find the sheet in the video description, download it and go to File, Print. From this window, you can easily change the scale. You may print them full scale at 100%. If you find my pillows a bit big for your project or you would like to make them 1/12 scale, go ahead and enter here the percentage you prefer. If you enter 50%, the design will be shrunk down to 50%. The colors are super bright and vivid. We'll see this tote bag in the next part of the tutorial. And on the top is the pillowcase design. First I cut all the individual parts and after that I removed the paper from the bag. Next, use a backstitch or a sewing machine to sew together the two sides of the pillow, leaving one side open to add stuffing. I will thread my needle. I've learned how to sew on this sewing machine from my grandma. Those types of machines are now in museum exhibitions, but mine is still working, so I'm using it for all my craft projects. It must be at least 50 years old, but it's still working. Once I reach the end, I turn back and make a second line of stitches back to the beginning. Cut the corners before turning it inside out. I use the tip of my scissors to turn the corners inside out. Fill it with polyfiber and make an invisible stitch to sew the two ends together. I have a detailed video tutorial on the invisible stitching in my autumn pillows video if you're interested. The needle is inserted into the fold of one fabric edge, picking up a tiny bit of fabric and then brought across to the opposite edge, again picking up a small amount of fabric. The stitches are made parallel to the seam and the thread is pulled taut to conceal them within the fold. To finish the cushion, I turn the needle back and forth and cut the remaining thread with scissors. I did the cat decorative pillow the same way. It looks like the perfect size for my Barbie doll diorama. Next, let's make a cute little tote bag that we are going to fill with pet goodies. Fold the top edge and sew along. Next, fold the fabric in half and sew together the two sides from the wrong side of the fabric. Turn the bag inside out so that we see the good side. In the background, you're seeing my daughter's hand opening and closing the lid of the shuttle compartment. She's so curious what Mama is doing with this strange rattling machine. Next, make the bag handles, fold the template to the center and sew along the hose strap. I made two. Sew them to the tote bag by hand. And voila! The bag is ready and looks so beautiful. Let's see how it looks on Barbie. Perfect fit for her shoulder. It even fits one big dog food package, a single small packet and a canned food. To summarize, in this video we made a bowl of gourmet food, 4 big packages of pet food, 4 canned food boxes, 4 single dose packets, a tote bag, a book which actually fits into the tote bag, and of course the 2 lovely pillows. Do you have any pets? And if you don't, what's the reason? I am allergic to cats, otherwise I would love to have one at home. Let me know in the comments below which pet you would love to have if you could. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!